Croeso I day 25 of 40 days, 40 readings. Our readings today focus on Jesus' crucifixion. Then Pilate's soldiers took Jesus into the governor's palace. All the soldiers gathered round him. They took off Jesus' clothes and put a red robe on him. Then they made a crown from thorny branches and put it on his head, and they put a stick in his right hand. Then they bowed before him, making fun of him. They said, "We salute you, King of the Jews." They spat on him. Then they took his stick and kept hitting him on the head with it. After they finished making fun of him, the soldiers took off the robe and put his own clothes back on him. Then they led him away to be killed on the cross. The soldiers were going out of the city with Jesus. They saw a man from Cyrene named Simon, and they forced him to carry Jesus' cross. They came to the place called Golgotha. Golgotha means the place of the skulls. There the soldiers gave Jesus some wine mixed with gall, but when he tasted it, he refused to drink it. The soldiers nailed Jesus to the cross. Then they threw dice to divide his clothes between them. The soldiers stayed there to guard him. They put up a sign above his head with a charge against him, written on it, "This is Jesus, King of the Jews." 2 criminals were nailed to the cross beside Jesus, one on the right and the other on the left. People walked by and shouted insults at Jesus. They shook their heads and said, "You said you could destroy the temple and build it up again in 3 days, so save yourself. Come down from that cross if you really are the Son of God." The leading priests, the teachers of the law, and the older Jewish leaders were also there. They made fun of Jesus the same way as the other people did. They said, "He saved others, but he can't save himself. People say he is the King of Israel. If he is king, he should come down now from that cross. Then we will believe him. He trusted God, so let God save him now, if God really wants him." He said to himself, "I am the Son of God." And in the same way, the criminals on the cross beside Jesus also insulted him. At noon, the whole country became dark. The darkness continued for 3 hours. About 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out very loudly, "Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani." That means, my God, why have you left me?" Some of the people standing there heard this. They said, "He is calling to Elijah." Quickly, one of them ran and got a sponge. He filled the sponge with sour wine and tied the sponge to a stick. Then he used the stick to give the sponge to Jesus to get a drink from it. But the other says, "Don't bother him. We want to see if Elijah will come and save him." Again, Jesus cried out loudly, and then he died. When Jesus died, the curtain in the temple was torn into 2 pieces. The tear started at the top and tore all the way to the bottom. Also, the earth shook and rocks were broken. The graves opened, and many of God's people who had died were raised from death. They came out of the graves, and after Jesus was raised from the dead, they went into the holy city, and many people saw them there. The army officer and the soldiers guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and everything that happened. They were very afraid. He said, "He really was the Son of God." Many women were standing away from the cross watching. These were the women who had followed Jesus from Galilee to care for him. Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of James and John were there. That evening, a rich man named Joseph came to Jerusalem. He was a follower of Jesus from the town of Arimathea. He went to Pilate and asked to have Jesus' body. Pilate gave orders for the soldiers to give Jesus' body to him. Then Joseph took the body and wrapped it in a new linen cloth. He put Jesus' body in a new tomb that had been dug out of the wall of rock. Then he closed the tomb by rolling a very large stone to cover the entrance. After he did this, he went away. Here ends today's reading.